welcome to the 29th episode of the Kiefcast. And today I have like some special guests, and we're gonna be mostly talking about a little MMO that I've been playing for the past I want to say
The
month.
critically acclaimed MMORPG.
Yeah, that
Oh
critically
wait,
acclaimed
we have too many
RPG.
priority.
Wait,
Does
wait. I
this want to say
thought
it? Does
we were
anyone
going to
want to say
talk
it?
about you. I thought we were going to talk about Estelle Online here. That's some fun shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, well,
critically
we're gonna get
acclaimed
into introductions
MMORPG
in a
is
second.
still
So,
working online.
before we get into like the questions and all that good jazz, does anyone want to introduce themselves? We'll go with like Estelle since she sort of want to go for that. So,
I'm Johannes Estelies.
yeah. Right next to me is the princess of well, some may know her as like from Tales of Vesperia, but like I've basically known her as much as long as I want to say I met Enna first, but then I met you like shortly after. I don't exactly remember how we met, but like we've known each other quite a bit on Facebook, right?
Yeah, you randomly sent me a request and I was like, damn, that guy likes a lot of Persona.
Yeah. Okay. So Estelle, like who are you and like
Who am I?
who are you? Just introduce yourself first, and we'll get into the me and the questions in a little bit.
Okay, so like, what do you mean by who am I?
Like
Who,
how
are
do you want
you?
to introduce yourself? This is your time. You take the spotlight.
Your time to
Um,
shine.
I guess no. Your average pink-haired anime loving girl. I love games, any JRPGs, and I am totally hooked on Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, awesome. So
AKA the Final Fantasy Queen.
Yeah.
yes,
Just throwing out there.
Latios has finally met his match. All right, so then the next,
Excuse me?
What? Wait.
potentially,
What was that about? What?
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So the next person I'm gonna introduce is someone I consider my like a sister I've always wanted that I never had, but both RP and it seems to be like you know online more like kind of expands like RP. So Edna, do you want to introduce yourself? Like, who are you? Just in case no one knows you before.
Sorry, I was in the potty. Hi, I'm Edna.
And that's it. You're Edna.
Yes, my name is Edna.
Are you a Libra
I
or a Scorpio?
oh,
Oh,
I'm a Aries. I'm a ram.
yeah. So like,
I ram people.
okay. So there's that.
I met Keith. I met Keith through Facebook as well, and I kept pestering him for years to play Final Fantasy 14.
Mhm.
And he was holding off on it until a few months later,
Yep. Pretty much.
playing
Like,
1 hour a day.
yeah. Okay. So we have another person that also recently played the game, kind of joined us in our little ventures on Final Fantasy 14. So, do you want to introduce yourself, Mr. Axie?
You can call me Rex, but I've been playing this game for like a whole week now, but haven't been able to put it down.
Oh, I can tell.
Most of most of those girls help me out. It's really fun.
Nice.
It's thanks to them that I was able to focus more on this game.
Yeah, I find it pretty apparent that playing with friends definitely makes a difference, and versus trying to figure shit out yourself. I'm sure each of us has something like that in common, right? Like if from
Yeah.
past MMOs that we did try. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So we have our final esteemed guest. That's we just established that he's considering getting into Final Fantasy, right? for the record.
Alright. I'm gonna introduce myself. They saved the best for last. It's your boy, Supreme Latios, aka. Let me ask my mom first. AKA Capri Sun the God, aka Pillsbury Doughboy, the pizza lunchable. They call me Young Yugi, aka Big Shot Kaiba, aka I get money.
Wow.
How do we even react to that?
I have no words. I figure I just asked like you just to confirm me that
AKA
you're considering getting into this game, right,
Supreme King
Latios?
of Darkness.
All
But
right.
yes, I'm considering getting into the game. You guys have been playing it for the longest time, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
All right. So
What
now
else you
we're
want me
gonna
to-
get
what
in.
else you want me to add real
Now we're
quick?
gonna get into questions, and then after we get into the questions, we're gonna see how the conversation is gonna go, and then by the end of this podcast, I'm gonna be sending the VOD to my buddy Notes of Archive, and he's gonna do an edit just like we did with the VTuber episode. So that's how I'm gonna be presenting my episodes on YouTube from now on. Okay, so I am. Let me see. Give me a sec. Because I want to keep this hidden. There it is. Okay. Alright. So I am gonna ask, like, basically questions. So we're gonna go. It's like I managed to like wrote down at least like eight questions, but we're gonna just get through it like little by little. So the first question would be basically, what got you guys into Final Fantasy 14? Anyone can answer that. Anyone want to go
Those
first?
two lovely girls got me into this game.
And do you want to get into how? Like besides like them just getting you into it?
I was always been into MMOs, mostly the Korean ones, but it's mostly been lonely without friends, so I went to play this game.
Okay. So I guess Estelle, like what got you into 14 specifically? If you want to get into
I've
that.
loved Final Fantasy since I played Final Fantasy VII like way back in high school, but in 2018, one of my friends and her friend wanted me to try out an MMO. I'd never played one before, so I tried it out. At first I was like, "Oh God, I suck," because I started off on Gladiator and it's a tank, and I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, I'm gonna take the sword and swing it. Yay, it's fun." And I was like, "Oh shit, man, it's like not doing shit." I was like, "How do you use the abilities?" And they said, "Well, don't you know how to use the keyboard?" I said, "Not really." Because I'm normally used to controller and stuff, so
Yeah.
not used to using the WASD shit.
Mm-hmm. So
So
yeah, go ahead.
this girl I was friends with, she got me into it, but like half a year after she did, she started changing as a person. I stopped talking to her.
Oh,
That's basically how I got into it.
Cheating
that's pretty
honestly
cool.
definitely sucks, honestly.
All right, so I'll ask that same question to Ender. How did you get into the game?
She seemed to be oh, she's there. Oh, she was there, okay.
I got into it a few years back because my husband was started playing it because he's like, oh, somebody got me into playing Final Fantasy 14, and I guess he joined their free company, and they were doing stuff together, and he made some friends. And then what got me into the game was he was going to marry somebody else in the game
Oh,
without my consent.
damn. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm hopping on because he just wanted it for the experience. He just wanted the
I was
XP
gonna
boost. 'Cause once
say,
you,
like, dang, like he was gonna go and do that, huh? Dang, I didn't think
Eh,
Lila would be like. Okay, yeah, sorry.
no, it's fine. People like I've known people who are like married in real life and they get married to somebody else, but it's not really mutual or anything. It's more for each other's benefits, like
Oh yeah,
teleporting to each other or the XP bonus. You get XP bonus for being married. You and that other person gets XP bonus, so you get minions.
yeah, and getting into like the scope of the game is like just barely scratch surface, but yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and then when I started playing, I started on PS4, so I was like really confused at the because I played WoW before and I played SWTOR as well,
Oh yeah, so Tor, I played
and
that
but that
for
was like a
like
while ago. Yeah, that was a while ago.
my
So it was like a good year,
my brother,
couple years
my
gap.
older brother tried to get me into both of those, and I only lasted like a week with both
SWTOR
of them.
was fun. WoW was okay. I did not like how you had to stick with whatever job, whatever class that you picked. And I also did not like the PvP. And I also did not like the people who played it because they were salty and they did a lot of griefing compared to Final Fantasy. That's why like I avoided MMOs other than SWTOR. But SWTOR I had fun. And then when I tried Final Fantasy, because I was used to all the other JRPGs like Tales, Nier, where you just rush in it, your character auto locks on
Hmm.
bosses and all that. And then, so when I got into Final Fantasy, I played on console, so I was taught, hold down R2 or L2. You get it. You're able to set, these actions to your hotbar, and I was like, what in the world? I
Oh yeah,
was like, how do you work this? And they're like, yeah, you have to actually click on the
I
target
I
and
just,
then you attack.
I just want to say
I was like,
real
what?
quick that learning like the control scheme in this game is unlike any other game I've ever even done before. Like I'm just saying like in general. Like that took an experience for me, but like that's really cool. Like so I'm gonna get into Axie, like asking him the same like what, like you already mentioned this a little bit earlier, but what got you into 14? And if you
I've
want to
always
answer.
been, as I said, I've always been playing MMOs since the Korean ones. I started off with Dungeon Fighter Online. It was a really fun instance-based type of online multiplayer.
Nice.
So I always wanted to try this game out, but I never had the incentive to. I played like a few hours before, but I didn't have any friends to play with.
Yep. So this question won't really apply to Latios, but Latios, I guess if I were to ask an alternative question, is
What's happening?
what would you be expecting for this game for someone that's probably gonna try this game? Like, what is your preconceptions right now?
Well, considering what I've heard, when you guys talk about when you guys play it, I feel like to me I'm kind of expecting something somewhat similar to Unite when it comes to teamwork, I guess. But other than that, I have honestly no experience um with um with particular games like this. Like I've 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 played I guess for me really it was really when I actually played Sephiroth and Cloud in Smash Bros. But I actually never really got around to actually playing an actual Final Fantasy game. Actually, I was actually considering maybe even um trying out like the Final Fantasy as well, and I figured maybe this will be a nice thing to play, on my off time if I don't have anything else, playing now.
Well, if
Maybe
you're
something I could
yeah,
probably do for Sunday,
I was just gonna
basically.
say if you're trying like this and this is like your first MMO, you honestly picked the right one. Because any other ones would probably be pretty toxic, right, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Blizzard.
Yeah.
like even 14 at one point was toxic. It wasn't as bad as WoW, but I do feel like Square Enix and Yoshi P and all of them, they listen to their players and they realize that, hey, there's a lot of toxicity. We're gonna implement some rules, some like harassment policies. Got to be nice to each other. Don't mark somebody as target to ignore, so that to let the healers know that to not heal you.
That kind of reminds me
Don't
of a
bash
game,
on other
another game. Yeah.
players.
Yeah, that's really good.
Don't bash on other players.
Hmm.
Don't cause any grief. Don't do anything that causes grief.
Yeah, I'm actually
And I
quite.
think
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm actually quite impressed by like the scope of this game. It's like I've never played a game with this much scope, and I play like games like I guess just to sort of compare before, like not really MMOs like Skyrim or like any of the Souls games or stuff like that. It's this game is definitely has a lot going on, just to put it very lightly. Anyways, we're gonna move into the next question, which is what makes this okay? This go. You guys mentioned WoW, so goes into the next question. What makes this game stand out compared to games like WoW or even games that you guys played in the past? So it could be like literally anything, not necessarily MMOs. But especially since we bring WoW as a fair comparison, that's like the other, you know, fair comparison to make. So what makes this game stand out in comparison to that and other games that you guys tried in the past prior to this game? So Estelle, you want to answer that?
Yeah. Okay. Just no one interrupt when I'm talking. Okay.
Right.
Um. So, Final Fantasy 14 is really special to me because when I'm at home, I have so many problems and difficulties and nowhere to go away from it. And I love that Final Fantasy 14 can bring that to you. A place to go and people to hang out with and have fun and joke around and hang out and just be stupid or be weird in Limsa or be weird in Gridania. And you just be silly and have fun. I mean, I've tried WoW before and it's always had like a toxic feel to it, and I didn't like that because you get beat on just for being new, and that's awful. But 14, it is such a nice community, and everyone's nice and welcoming to you, and they're always so helpful. But don't get me wrong, you will meet some prick elitists out there, because I've dealt with them like a few times. And even when you're in dungeons or trials, there always be them people will be like, "What the hell? What the fuck did you do? Oh my god!" Yeah, there will be people who will pick on you, but that's a game. Just be you and have fun.
Right. That's pretty good. So I guess I'll throw that similar question to Edna. Like, what makes this game stand out to games like WoW? I think you touched on that briefly, and or even other games like the Tales games that you played in the past, like it, like what makes it stand out from the rest, basically.
I think graphics play a major role for, especially as an MMO, Final Fantasy. The graphics are amazing. I'm not a big fan of like the top down playing type, but Final Fantasy really felt like more of a JRPG than an MMO because it is really soloable. You can play it with people, you can play it with friends, you can play it alone. They recently implemented trusts and what they call the new duties, where you can play with NPCs, and I think it really helped out because I do know a lot of people, they when they play alone, they're afraid to solo queue. They're afraid to play with other players because you never know. If you're gonna be with a good group or a bad group. So
Yeah.
also the queue time. Also, if they're DPS and they don't want to wait 30 minutes for their queue to pop to play with other people just to finish up a MSQ, they can play with NPCs, and then which that'll get them through MSQ a lot quicker. Um, Also the battle mechanics too. I really enjoyed those. It's always something new. And the fact that you can pick any class, you can pick all the classes even if you would like. So
Yeah.
you don't have to stick with one class.
You aren't character class locked.
Yeah, that was pretty
Right.
impressive. That
Right. Like
actually,
WoW.
yeah, that actually reminds me of like games like even like games like even though I haven't finished it, like Elden Ring is like kind of like that. Skyrim is kind of like that. So it's nice to see that Final Fantasy gives you that flexibility of being well a jack of all trades essentially when you get
Yeah,
right down to it.
you can be anything. You can be like black mage. You can be any tank. You can be healers. All DPSs. There's even an achievement if you get all of the classes. If you got them all to 90, I believe,
Oh wow,
all of them max level, you get an achievement. Yep.
that's cool.
Same with the crafters and gatherers too. And it almost Final Fantasy Online almost feels like the real world because there's an economy going on too. People will craft and then they'll sell their stuff. Or if you need materials to craft, you can go out and gather them. Farm some animals for their leather. You know, harvest some ores to make metals. Um, you know, chop off some logs to make lumber, and then you can sell those. You can use them to even craft like weapons, gear, armor, jewelry, and then just sell them on the market board or some vendors. And it almost works like real world. It
So would you say that this game is unlike any game that you've ever played before, like ever?
is very unlike any game I've ever played.
Wow.
I don't think I'll ever stop playing it because it's like even when
I
you
don't
reach
think
the
so
end
either.
game, it's just like one of them games you just want to keep playing and playing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot to do. There's a casino. You can go play some games there. Um, Collect minions, collect mounts.
The restoration
Armor.
and there's foundation and shit.
Oh yeah, there's Ishgardian restoration for crafters. That's a good way to level up your crafters. There's always something to do. There's also delivery quests too.
There's the deep dungeons too, like Palace of
Yep.
the Dead and Heaven on High.
Yep. We just ran, I think, 10 floors today.
Yeah, I got tired.
Yeah, it does get tiring.
Right.
And there's also like raids, trials that sometimes they link to other Final Fantasy games.
They put the origins like for the Omega raids. It like has
Yeah,
a lot to do with Final Fantasy VI. You
yeah.
see a lot of shit from 5 and 6 on it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Like there's the Exeth and a few others, I think.
Like that clown from 6.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kefka, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Kefka, yes.
Yeah, I know of him. I
I think my
remember.
party called him
Shut up, baby.
Hisoka from
I only know of him because of the
What?
city of Final Fantasy. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I love his theme, Edna, Dancing Mad.
Yeah.
I think I was too absorbed in that raid to pay attention to the music.
At the mechs for it because sometimes it would have the fake AoE and then the morons would run into it and then boom right off the thing. It's like a trick
Yep.
actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or what is it? The train, the Harry Potter sounding train.
5. 5, I
Alright.
think.
Oh,
Or
it's
wait, no,
fun.
no. Maybe,
Also,
I think that was 4.
I think so, yeah. And there's the Four Lords, which is from
Stormblood.
yeah, Stormblood Trials, and they're a reference to I think Final Fantasy 11, 12, or
It also makes reference to the 4 Eastern gods of
Yep.
of legend: Genbu,
exactly
Oh,
Suzaku,
Genma
Sadie.
Suzaku. Yeah.
Byakko.
That's like
Yeah,
also
my
that's also an
waifu.
SMT. Like well, a lot of like Japanese media do that. That's pretty awesome.
I like a lot of
Oh
lore
yeah.
stuff.
It's
Like,
pretty
you know
awesome.
how
Hmm.
how like Edna, like the Algaia raid, or the Aglia raid,
Aglaya, yeah, that
yeah,
one's based off of
Greek mythology.
the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that
I
is
love stuff
super
like
cool.
that has lore hidden behind like any kind of mythology, like stuff like Greek or Roman or
Hmm.
like
Yep.
stuff like that, or ancient Egypt, like Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, that's just cool.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei
Yeah.
also does that something similar too. That's really cool mythology. That's awesome. Okay, so Axie, like I guess we'll throw that second question. So you have more experience with like WoW and stuff. So how does this game compare to WoW and stuff that you played in the past, Axie?
Well, they have more attention to detail, especially with the emotes and the personalities of the characters. They have way more personality than WoW will ever have.
Yeah, I
You
I
know
can
what?
agree with that. Yep.
14 has that WoW doesn't.
What's that?
It's not. It doesn't have Blizzard.
And that's true.
Exactly.
I think that's like the greatest
Exactly.
relief of all the players, especially the former WoW
Yep.
players, from what I've understood.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure some people came from 11.
Probably a lot. I know a lot of people came from 11,
Yeah,
and
a lot of people played it. Like a lot
hmm.
of people are what they call there are special players in the in 14, right? That we call legacy players. They were there when 1.0 started. So that's why they're called that. And a lot of them came from FF11 and then started playing.
Hmm.
That
So
is
that's why they're called legacy players. And there's
that's
like this special thing to them, Keith. They get this special tattoo on the back of their neck.
ooh. So that's
Nice.
how meta they are.
Yeah.
Even I didn't know
Wow,
that.
I didn't even know that. Holy shit.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that
it's a
either.
special mark because when I was an Aether, my friend Kate, she had one right on the back of her neck, and you can get it in any color that you specify to Square Enix. But you have to be a legacy player, and yeah, you have to have been there for 1.0. So
Hmm.
it's like a special thing that only a select few people have, and I kind of wish it was kind of worldwide because it was kind of it's so fucking cool. And when I saw it on her neck, I was like, "What is that? Did you get that from PvP?" And she said, "No, I'm a legacy player."
Damn,
I think
that is so cool. I didn't even know that.
It's
me
like
neither.
Like
it's the sign
I heard the concept
tattoo.
of like something about like Warrior Lights, like which reference to legacy players. Like I think a bit of
And
like I didn't know
it
that
has
like you get like a emblem or something in your back of your neck or anything like that.
It's
Mhm.
it's a tattoo of the Scion's emblem that's like on Thancred's neck. It's from the circle
Yeah.
of knowing. So
Hmm.
that they have it at the base of their neck, and it's really cool. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. I think my buddy has one on his original account
Yeah.
because I want to say he played Final Fantasy 11 too. And I remember when 11 first came out, like I heard it didn't do well, and this is what I was told was they they
That's
I
why
think
14.
fired the main person in charge of 11, and they brought in Yoshi P, who
That's why
created ARR.
that's why 14 was made because it's called a realm reborn. Get it? It's
Hmm.
11
Right.
reborn, basically.
You're pretty much your 11 character pretty much isekai'd to
That's
14.
how it goes.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense.
For
That's how
Final
it.
Fantasy 11, Edna, what they did was they you could bring over your character from there, like your data, and then start
Oh,
on a
nice.
journey.
Does that also include like your level if you were from 11 or just start from
Mm,
scratch?
I'm not sure if it has to do with the level, but my friend Kate said that when she brought her character over from it, that it qualified to become a legacy player because you were there for 11 at the end of 11 and for the start of 1.0, which was a Realm Reborn.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. So I guess this is gonna lead to the. Since speaking of characters, this is gonna lead to the third question, which is, what was the inspiration to when you were making your character, and what is like your main, like, yes, like the MSQ and everything, but what is like your main goal with the character that you made with to bring to 14? Like, what do you hope to, I guess, accomplish if anything? Like when I guess like the first thought that comes to
What
mind when you
inspired
make,
your character, pretty much?
yeah, like the first thought that comes to mind, like how I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this character. What goes into your mind? I was like, exactly.
So you're saying why did we choose a character and what inspired us to choose said character and or race?
Yes, correct.
For me, I've always loved cats, and I kind of like the whole tribal thing to the cats, the Mama Mikote, and I've always my cat right now it has like vanilla hair and has pink highlights. I've always loved that those colors, and I like pink, and as Edna saw earlier, I was wearing pink, and like I've always just loved cats, and I like tribes and stuff, like stuff to do with Indians and stuff. Like I said, a lot of the inspiration is because I like cats, and then like the thing with cat girls are they're so cute. Even in animes, they're just, like so
Oh
fucking
yeah,
adorable.
for sure.
And they're like that legit race that nothing looks bad on. It's like the Lalafels are short as hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Edna, but like I tried Aura before, and it just kind of it's like the freaking scales on the face always bothered me because it messes with hairstyles a lot, and you can't wear certain
A little
head.
bit.
Yeah.
It's like say you choose the aura with the black scales, like you can't wear certain colors. It just doesn't like it makes it look really crappy. It's like
Mhm.
but if you do the Rayan, it looks okay because like a lot of stuff goes with the Rayan.
Mhm.
And then with the Hrothgars, like they can't wear a certain shit, and the Vieras,
We
which
can't wear hats.
yeah, and it is so freaking annoying because it's like that's not fair, you know. And then there's like
Mhm.
outfits in the Mog Station that are like not unisex, and that's like I kind of wish that they would kind of implement that because that would be really fun.
Right.
Um, let's see. I did contemplate trying to be a boy once before, but I wasn't sure because I used to play Pokemon like a lot, and like I used to play as Ash in Pokemon Yellow and stuff, or who are the characters or whatever. But it started made me feel uncomfortable, like down the lines, and I was like, God, why can't they make a girl character? Because it always
Yeah.
made me feel weird. I was like,
Plus,
oh,
you
like
want to immerse yourself, and if you can't really do that if you're not your gender, right? Correct.
And like the thing I do like about 14 with character creation, you can make your character look the exact opposite of you, and at the same time be you and your personality. And it's just like when I'm playing it as my character, I don't imagine I'm me. I just imagine I'm in a different world, and I'm me just having fun and saving the world, and
Nice.
questing with the scions and.
Collect them all.
Exactly what Latiel said. All right. So Edna, I guess I'll ask this to of you. What was the inspiration of making your character? I guess the one we usually see, and what what is your big takeaway with 14? I guess as well, if you wanna say so.
Um, I think it was after I played Berseria, and before that I played Zestiria, Tales of Zestiria, and I could really relate to Edna as a character. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be Edna. And all year two was, I was like, I have no idea what race, because there was no, like, won't call them lollies, there was no, like, child race. But I saw a video with a whole bunch of lollicles dancing, and I thought it was the cutest, I thought it was, like, the cutest and most adorable thing I've ever seen. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna lala it.
It's
So
just
I
sorry.
ran around. Yep.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yep. And then I ran around MSQ as a Lala, and I never had a problem with all the heights. Like I did become Aura for maybe 2 months. It was okay. I could never get used to the running, the walking, all the animations, all the emotes. I could never get used to it like I could for Lalafell. That I had to switch back.
I had a Lalafell question for you, Edna.
I may have a Lalafell answer for you.
Okay. Do you like mashed potatoes?
Cannibalism.
Yes, and that is not cannibalism. It is stated in the giant Popoto descriptions that it is used for raising hardy Lalafells. And any Lalafells reading this may be rest assured that this does not qualify as cannibalism.
What about baked potatoes? That's still eating your brethren.
Potato eggs.
That's what she said.
Well, I mean, there's Miko Bobs.
Yeah.
And I have crafted them before. I will send you some next time.
I always see people in game as bunny girls, and I ask myself this all the time: how can they be so tall, you know? And then like you see them touching their freaking ears, and I'm like, I like Mikos because they're medium size. They're not too big, they're not too tiny, and you don't have to switch around the camera angle like Edna probably has to do.
No, not at all.
Alright, so actually...
I could just never get used to the running and all that.
Why did you choose yours? And what's
Yeah,
your
actually.
inspiration?
Lizard boy.
Yeah, so
Mostly,
so actually,
Yeah.
Why did you make your character the way you did, and what was inspired by it, pretty much?
mostly the OC I had is a dragon lady, but auras aren't dragons. But close enough. Trying to make her look like close to my OC.
Yeah.
Your turn, Keith.
Oh, and the inspiration? Well, originally I wanted to try to recreate my OC that Edna made, but it just wasn't feeling right. And you guys remember the salmon color, right? Like in the beginning?
Oh my god!
Yeah, you're salmon here.
Okay, it just wasn't doing. So then I just I'm gonna scrap this. I'm just gonna become Joker. 'Cause why the fuck
Yeah, 30-year-old Joker
yeah, Joker McGuire. His beard.
with a beard and mustache.
Yeah, I guess. It wasn't that complicated. I just want to see what I can, if I can incorporate my OC there. If not, I'll just become Joker from Persona 5 because he's like my favorite character ever. That's basically it, really. So the fourth question now we're gonna get into, from the skills that you learn from the game, like any skills that you would apply that you learn from this game, how would you apply that in real life? That's the question. So I guess Estelle, from what you learned from this game, how would you apply that to the real world, so to speak?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I was laughing.
Yeah, it's all good. So from the skills that you learned from the game, it could be literally anything in particular in 14. How would you apply them in real life?
My white mage skills.
I guess, if anything. If it could be applied.
Let's see. That's actually kind of tough. Well, I guess you can try and heal sickness in the world and cleanse people of evil, and then beat the brains in with your staff afterwards if they're a bitch to you. So it kind of works out.
Yeah.
Derp.
And then now Edna's gonna answer this. So
Uh-oh.
how would you answer that, Edna? Like the skills that you learned from the game, how would you apply it into your daily living?
Number one rule is don't step in yellow snow.
What the hell is that, girl? What the hell, man? This time?
That's funny.
AKA avoid AoEs.
aka Capri Sun the God,
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Um,
the pizza
I,
lunchable, the baker's man.
well, I start off as Bard, so I guess because you can do performances as Bard. You can play music, and I play music in real life as well. Like I will play piano, some guitar. Um,
Nice.
I used to sing a lot. Um, but yeah, just bring people joy with music.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Um,
Good.
Music's definitely the best in my opinion.
Yeah. Music
same
makes a
with
difference.
this is actually something I also learned from Near Automata that people, I like helping people as well.
That it's
Like
okay.
if I see,
It's busy.
yeah, like if I see somebody soloing something and their health is low, I always jump in and uh heal them up or help them out. If they're pulling mobs in their DPS, I go in as tank and I just pull everything, grab the aggro off of them. And even though I don't know these people, I still like to help out. And that is what Final Fantasy has taught me. Try to help people as much as you can, no
Yeah.
matter whether you know them or not. You don't even have to know them. Some kind gestures will
Because
really
honestly,
impact
the
people.
greatest virtue, like pay it forward, is probably the other way I would think about that. That's good, actually. That's amazing.
I got a question actually.
Yeah.
What is everyone's goal and or dream while they're playing Final Fantasy 14?
Go and dream.
Mine's easy.
Do you want to say so first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Might as well let the Final Fantasy Queen speak. Let her speak her thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so since I started playing back in 2018, I like helping people a lot. Um, I always volunteer when I was in free companies or like guilds and stuff. So I always wanted to run my own, and I'm actually doing that now for the first time. I get a rank 7 one, and I've been working my butt off on it, and Edna's been helping me. And my dream was actually to become a mentor so I could help others and help people who come after me and help them and guide them, because some people that get mentor crowns, they abuse it, they just get it for the aesthetic and say, ooh, look at my shiny princess crown. No, that's not why I wanted to help people, because I've always loved helping people. I used to help people before COVID. I used to volunteer a lot, and I miss doing that. And that's my dream. I want to help people. I want a place where people can come and play and be them and not feel persecuted or judged because they have mental illness, or like because they suffer from stuff like autism or anything like that.
Right. That's pretty admirable, actually. It's good. You want to answer that, Edna? Like what she asked?
Um, I have a similar goal to Estelle. I also like to help people. I haven't applied to be a mentor yet. I don't really want to. I like, helping them as is right now.
Yeah.
Um, but every time I'd see in Party Finder, people would be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm dog farming. These extreme trials." I pop in even though I didn't have, or even though I already had that mount, and I'd pop in, just be like, "I'm just here to help out," and a lot of them, they're looking for a tank, a healer, and I'll usually queue in as them. They'll run it unsync, so it's super easy.
Part of the reason I chose healer, Edna, because I like to help people, and healing people is a good way to help others. Because
By playing as Salt Mage.
no, because you get to heal you get to heal people suffering and their wounds.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, how is healing on controller? That one question.
Well, it's actually it's really easy, and I always,
It is
like
really
I tell
easy.
Edna, it's so fucking easy healing. And she said, no, it's
It is
not.
easy.
Well, I like to think we have our specialty. I mean, just like in the real world, and this game includes
I
that. But
I used to be a tank on WoW myself, but
yeah. So I guess what are your goals and dreams, Axie? Since she asked that.
probably going after the sexy armor as much as possible, as revealing as possible.
Well, we mean, what's your goal overall in the game that you want to achieve besides speed running through it?
Mostly just to get through the game and catch up with everyone else. Mostly, that's the main goal.
That is good and awesome, but remember, take your time with it, okay?
Yep, I'm watching the story as I go through.
Hi, speaking of you,
Yes.
how's your MSQ going?
MSQ
I'm
is
still in
going-
Heaven's Sword.
Oh wait, him. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's that Kite.
Oh,
How's
you
your
said
MSQ
me. Yeah,
going?
my MSQ. Yeah, it's going well. I was what was it? I was doing a duty. I was waiting for you guys to finish, then potentially like perhaps like help me through it today. At least speaking for today, but no one was out there, so I went ahead and just ran it with NPCs, and to my surprise, I was able to. I actually pushed through like all by myself, like with the NPCs, and and I was able to just nudge through. Well,
Sorry,
today.
I was busy with my Stormblood MSQ,
Yeah.
and when it's kind of like, hey, actually, when you're focused on it, and you're like, yeah, it's like really hard to get your attention, and you're like,
I get it.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Focus on the
It's
really
kind of like when your parents call you for dinner, and then you're like,
I'm not hungry.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna keep playing this,
Yeah. Nice.
I get really
get it.
invested in
I
games.
definitely get it.
You get
Oh,
so
yeah.
sucked into a game. It's like when you play a Tales game and you're like, uh huh.
Really, any
I'm-
role-playing game that I've ever played.
When I'm invested
Yeah.
in the platinum trophy, you'll never hear from me for a while.
I've never platinumed the game yet. I really want to try to make it a Tales or a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
It's better to start with Tales of not Zillia, but Arias. That's a
Yeah.
good.
Arise is the
think-
easiest.
I think like well,
I am
or at least
playing
from
the
what a friend,
right.
a mutual friend has done is like Dave, and I haven't even done this by the way. Like Dave, believe it or not, this mutual has platinum like Persona 5 Royale with a guide, Royal I should say, with a guide. Well, to be fair, they're
did-
following a guide, but that does help in case you ever miss out on anything. But if you want to do it organically, then that's also an option too.
The original Persona 5 was a harder platinum.
Oh yeah, that's from what I know. Like getting some of the trophies was actually kind of difficult. With Royal is kind of easier, but that's for another topic. We're talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I didn't know you brought it
so
up.
for the question of like my goal, aside from MSQ, right now it's just I guess just to see what more things I can learn. I feel like almost every time I log in, it's like a learning experience. So it's like, what other things I can learn from this game, and also maybe potentially once I earn enough, maybe get like an apartment like you and Estelle has, like in your guys's, what'll be like
I had
FC
to
or something
save
like
over
that.
100 K to get mine. I had to make sure I had money left too. So I had about 750 K when I bought mine. So I made sure I had about 250 left.
Yeah. So pretty much, I guess the realistic goal will be like over time, as me playing the game, will be to improve my quality of life as I progress and see where that goes. As a
The
player.
ultimate question,
Yes.
you're right here. Why is it called Final Fantasy if they keep making more?
Right.
This is it. This is our Final Fantasy.
For that one.
Yeah. So okay. So before we get sidetracked, we're gonna ask like the fifth question that I have in my notes. This is pretty simple, or it may not be simple for. So it's like it's gonna get into like the negative aspect. So it's like, what are some things about 14 that you guys dislike or even downright hate about 14? Like some aspects.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I want at least more outfits to cross dress with.
Oh wait, actually, there is one thing I hate. I hate when the cutscenes are too freaking long, and then your queue pops, and
Yeah.
you're like, shit, rewatching
The unskippable cutscenes, especially when you already seen them.
hmm
Yeah,
you can choose to skip
those
them,
funny
but
ones.
some of them they're unskippable.
The
Yeah,
story is really good, though. I really loved going through the story. I played through the game
hmm
6 times already. This is my seventh
Wow.
playthrough of the game, and I just every time I play through the game, whenever people die in it, I do cry. There are certain moments that it just gets to me, and it makes me feel so much, and I just feel so connected to the game, and I really love it. Thank you, Yoshi P.
Yeah, Yoshi P. The God. All right.
it doesn't have that Nomura writing at least.
So I guess I can throw
Yeah.
this at Edna. What don't you like about Final Fantasy 14, basically?
The undercutting in the market board.
Oh yeah,
This is
everyone's.
my only gripe. Is anytime I put something that I crafted, that I gathered, any of the new stuff that's like worth millions, I put it on the market board for a little bit less. There's always a whole bunch of people undercutting me a minute later after I check.
Then do you know what you do, Edna? You fucking undercut them assholes.
I did. I undercut the crap out of them. Like, you know what? You want to drop it? You want to keep dropping things down by 1 gil? I'm gonna drop them down by 10 gil.
It's sometimes good, so people have buy your item, but still, it's irritating
Yep.
for the person who made it.
I don't know what.
Especially, I
I don't.
remember I crafted some minions. I would craft some minions, like the Shinru minion, some of the primal minions I crafted because I had extra mats from running the extremes, and then I would put them to for like a reasonable price, like maybe 10k, and then suddenly somebody undercuts me by a lot and puts it to like 2 gil, and
What?
then I'm like, you know what? Screw you.
I got a crafting question, Edna. Actually, when you first started crafting, did it feel very overwhelming to you? Like you felt like you didn't know what to do or where to start?
At one point, yes. And when I first started crafting, I didn't know that gear also mattered. I didn't know that, the higher the gear, the more CP, the more control you have. So the higher the quality items you can make. And this was before they took out the whole failing system. Because before, you would, especially for click synthesis, there will always be some crafts that you failed. You'll get some high quality, you'll get some normal quality, and then you'll fail some. And that was a waste of materials that I gathered.
Oh wow.
And it did when I first started crafting, but this was before I knew about firmament. I just kept on crafting just random stuff, selling it to the vendors, and it did get overwhelming to the point that I was like, I can't do this high quality stuff. So I had to go ask my FC members at the time. I'm like, can anyone craft this for me?
Like
This was
one
about the
thing,
time where timing mattered.
one thing that always bothered me, like that I didn't understand. I didn't know what was the right way to sell stuff on the retainers to the market board because every time I would price something, somebody would just keep doing the undercut and shit, and then I was like, God, I can't
Yeah.
sell anything. I can't do this, and it's like, and then you just sell shit to the vendors, and then you're like, oh God, shit, oh my God.
Just for 1 gil.
Yeah, it's like shit, and then the like asking price on the actual item is like 500 or 1,000 and you're like, motherfucker.
Yep. Yep. In that case, I remember I put something up for 10k gil, and somebody sold the same thing, but it was for 2 gil.
2 gil
And
less.
no, not 2 gil less, just 2 gil. And I was like, wow. People put them up for like 1 gil or something, and I was like, you know what? So I bought it off of them and I sold it.
You know,
So I was like,
I'd like to see Edna when they put up the Hades weapons for 2 gil a piece.
Oh, really?
That would make my day instead of this 2 mil shit. When they first came out, they're like 5 mil to 7 million a piece.
Yeah, because the Hades Elegy, which is
Yeah.
from Hades Savage, that is.
It's from Hades.
People would farm that a lot. Yes, it is from Hades Extreme. It is. I think it's a rare drop.
Weapons didn't glow though at the time because my friend Sin had the dancer version and it didn't glow like that. This is the augmented.
Yes,
version.
that is the craftable ones. All the craftable primal weapons will glow.
Yes, there's absolutely gorgeous and for glam.
Yep.
Hello, Queen.
Yeah, I know, Glam Queen.
Yeah.
That's why every
like
time
the
I get like my
Yeah, so I guess actually, well, what are some things you don't like about the game so far?
I'm not sure yet because I've barely started.
Right.
Well, there's got to be something you don't like.
Although, yeah, wait. I'll just say the large queue times for DPS for sure.
Oh yeah,
Got it.
everyone hates those.
Oh, I can't say.
I used to buy a class that I used to just buy a class boost and just solo through the MSQ.
Oh, nah,
to
don't
avoid the
jumping on new people. No jumping unless you've actually experienced all the story and you're starting to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad.
I've
This is what I did for
I actually
my
saw
alt,
like a
too.
video that some dude from WoW did that, and when he got into like a high point of the game, I'm not sure where, but like he got like really super confused of what to do, just because he.
Of course.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his rotation and he doesn't know his class because just because you buy a jump, it doesn't mean you have the experience that comes with that class.
At least with this game, they give you a duty finder with the AI, so you can practice your role too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
They
a better
didn't.
system.
They implemented that in Shadowbringers, I believe. That was when I started
Yeah.
playing. It's a good way to
That-
level up too.
They implemented it through 5.0, so all the way through 5.0 towards the end of it. And then they decided, well, hey, let's bring it to ARR. I was like, oh my god, yay! No more waiting. But the sad thing is, it's only in ARR and Shadowbringers, and I kind of wish they would implement it for the rest of the expansions.
Same here. They plan on it. Yoshi P did plan on it in his letter to the producer, or letter from the producer.
Because
He did say that later on that they'll.
it would really help lessen the DPS queue to where you have to wait like 11 or 20 fucking minutes just to do something. Oh my god.
Right.
I also
Yep.
do hate the ether currents. It's
Yep.
so tedious.
It is.
I know, but they want you to work for it. You gotta work
Yeah.
for it. Walk until you can fly, biatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So the opposite of the question I asked. So obviously, what are some things do you love about 14? Yeah, of course.
Obviously, I love the glam.
Yeah, the glam is pretty awesome. What about you, Estelle? What do you love about 14? Like, if you had to name like one specific thing, I'm sure there's like a bunch of things that you love, but what is like the one thing that you can't get enough of in terms of 14?
Definitely fucking glam.
Yeah.
Glam and Edna. Edna, oh.
Yeah, I know. I know. Almost every time it's like either dailies or Edna, make this for me. Craft this for me.
Edna, come on, it's time to run this. Think about the bullshit for Wonder Tales.
Whenever
Oh,
it's
right.
you just start glowing.
I need Ultima Extreme Unsynced. So
That wasn't Ultimate Extreme. That was Ultimate Bane. That was just it was just a better version of the freaking Praetorium fight of the old one.
the porter potty, the porta
Yeah.
potty.
The Porter Praetoria one.
Yeah.
Every time we get into MSQ for that, we always wish, come on, let's get Porter. Let's get Porter.
We've been getting a lot of Praetorium.
Yeah. Like that one day we had Porta for 3 days in a row.
You're like again, and then we started getting Praetorium like 5 times, and you're just like, I want Porta. I miss Porta.
Edna's working. I'm like, is it time to do roulette now, Edna? She said, not yet. I'm working. I'm in a conference. Okay, so 2 hours later, I'm like, is it time now?
I can run some
I'm
quick
still
ones.
working. Wait for 2 more hours.
Yeah. All right. So, Edna, what do you love about 14? Like one thing specifically, or literally anything you want to say.
Definitely the glam, like the cosplaying and all that. 'Cause I have made Edna. I have made Aizen. Same with Ringwell and Rita.
I like that you can see your glamour and stuff in cutscenes, and it makes you like admire your work like a piece of art.
You can also
Yeah,
make yourself
right.
look as stupid as wild too.
Back when Praetoria was 8-person, and we had like much longer cutscenes, I used to always go in with my cryo glam and throw people off so much. They're like, "Wait, cryo?" So it fits in the cutscene so well.
Yeah.
Like, wait, cryo? I don't remember cryo being an ARR.
Remember when we went on that run with X through I think it was the Emporium, and he grabbed your ass with rescue and almost killed you?
Exe, yes, he does that all the time.
Oh my god! But he never did it to me. and, and this one time he wanted to heal, and I said, "So you can kill us? No, thank you."
Exe, he used to, because I remember I picked up Dragoon. I was leveling up my Dragoon, and he saw and he picked up Dragoon. So he was like, "Hey, want to run daily? I need to get my Dragoon up to level." And then he'll purposely run into as many AoEs as he can. And then I would be, because he's like, because this is the running joke for Lancer and Dragoon. They're the second tanks, the half tanks, pretty much. Next to the tank, the Lancers, and for some reason the Bards, they draw the most aggro. They'll sometimes take the aggro off of the tank. That's why they call them floor tanks, because DPSs, they're squishy. And Lancers, they're floor tanks.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why did you choose your first class, and why?
That's a good one.
I
Well,
guess I'll start.
you go for it.
Oh, go ahead. Alright. Because my OC uses a trident close to a lance. So, might as well start with that. It fits her.
Yeah, with me, like, I didn't want to be a gladiator, but I ended up picking it. Well, to be fair, I wasn't really thinking much when I picked it. All I knew was like, okay, if I can't be a pro from the start, then I'll pick something that has a sword or something. That was literally the first thing that I saw, and I just went for it. I didn't know what to expect, and I was like, oh shit, it's a tank class. Okay, guess I'll rock for this until I get to what I want. Then that was my thought process at the time. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
are you done?
No, yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
My starting class, I picked as Bard because right before I started Final Fantasy 14, I was playing Skyrim, and I always played as Archer. So even in Guild Wars 2, I picked Archer, and I love range DPS, but not the magic. So that's why I chose to be an Archer, and I landed in Gridania.
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 Okay, so so the reason I chose mine. Okay, so the very, very first time I ever played, I was a gladiator too, but I did not. Okay, yeah, I picked it by choice, but I thought, hey, it's gonna be something you can stab someone with and hit. I never thought about why it was blue at first, so I didn't really like it. I fucking hated that class. But the second time around, when I picked a class, I went for because I really liked the whole forest theme, the whole thing with the white mage, with the trees and stuff to do with the forest. I just love that theme. I've always liked nature, and it kind of fits my aesthetic. I love plants and flowers, and
Do you like lilies?
yes, I do love lilies.
Hmm.
And
Make
so
sure you
like
use your lilies.
I always found like healing to be the most natural thing because whenever I play a JRPG like Gale and stuff, I always use casters or I use healers or like I love this healing. It's so fun and easy and fluid. Just
Hmm.
it's just natural. It's just like some people say healing is so hard, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's fun because it is.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
just feels that's me. It just feels like the only thing that's me when I play as a healer. It feels so fun and it's easy. And
and it became easy for you because you applied yourself for the skill, right?
well, at first I used to suck Keith like really bad.
Yeah.
Because when I was on this FC thing like on Balmung, it's a legacy server, but it's also it's a big RP server. It's the biggest one on Crystal. And well, the FC I joined, they're a bunch of pricks, and they're a bunch of elitists, and the FC leader kept yelling at me because I wasn't doing my rotation right, and I barely knew anything about healing at the time, and was trying to learn, and it doesn't help when someone screams at you and then tells you afterwards, "Don't ever heal again," just because you can't do a mechanic. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was in Ormvale, to be honest, Edna. So it's not. It's like that place was a bitch before they even knocked it down some.
Oh yeah, that's Aurum.
Yeah, it's like it's very healer intensive. So for healers, it's like eating poison into your veins and sucking out your mana. It's like so freaking hard. It makes it like if they ever made it Ormvale hard, I'd have to punch them in the face.
I thought they did make an Aurum hard.
No, I'm glad they didn't, but like the thing is like with healers, everything depends on our magic and everything depends on your rotations. There's three large aspects of always playing a class. Mechanics, your rotation, and pretty much DPSing. Those three things are paramount. When you aren't DPSing, you're healing. When you're not healing, you're doing mechanics.
Yep. The way I also think about it is like when you're doing these raids or whatever it happens to be, it's like a symphony. Like everybody has like some sort of like role or
Roll.
natural flow, and then just
I like how each class makes up for the weakness of another.
yeah.
Res Mage
Oh man,
giving healers all the comms.
I I
Hell
brain
yeah,
freeze with the
bitch! Woo! I love like at first I used to think that White Mage was a slow healer, but like when I tried Astra, I was like, damn, that's fast. Because it was like a
White
super
Mage, I think,
fast.
is the most I think is the best, probably best traditional healer.
I tried Scholar, Edna. Like the first time I tried Scholar, it was like really intensively hard because I couldn't get the shield healing shit down because I was like,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
But then when I tried Sage when Endwalker came out, I was like, oh my god, this is so easy. I was like, damn, is this all there is to shield healing? Holy shit.
Yep, pretty much. It's just the only issue is crap.
You heal and pretty much shield it whole time.
yeah.
The only issue with Sage is it's a lot of MP.
Yes,
Like
it
you'll
does.
run out of MP a lot, so you have to really monitor that.
It uses a lot of MP, and you gotta watch your gauge constantly so you can knock off your heals. And it's like it's a pain in the ass because there's so many things you can do on it. You can jump and move. You can I know that there are multiple kind of heals. There's a region heals, auto region heals.
Yes, yes, there are some region hills. You got a lot of barrier shields.
First, I didn't know what the Eucrasian diagnosis shit was because I was like, okay, what's this button do? And then what's this? I was like, oh, you're supposed to combo them. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're supposed to combo them.
yeah,
Eucrasian
it's like,
Combo
shield.
breaker. Okay.
yeah, it's like for
Nice.
healing. Like, if I could give any tip for somebody who starts healing for the first time, it's this. Like, that Palace of the Dead is a good teacher for this because it's like a tutorial. It's like a little mini tutorial because as you level up in Palace of the Dead, it knocks off each move as you actually learn it throughout the class quest. So it helps you
Yes,
get used to the natural flow of things.
exactly.
So it's a good way to practice healing without actually being in actual combat. And then you're like, okay, so then I can try this class out and see how I like it. And you always start at 1 too, so it always helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
It's how I learned Sage.
wow.
Bad.
So I guess this leads into the next question. We got basically a couple more, and then we can basically talk about whatever after that. So the next one is, if you weren't playing this game, like pretend for some reason Final Fantasy 14 doesn't exist. So if you weren't playing this game, what would be doing instead and why? So anyone, I'll start with Estelle then. Like,
Let's say like if the game didn't exist at all right now.
yeah, if the game didn't exist, or for some reason you didn't want to play it anymore, let's just pretend
Yeah,
that you did.
right. Okay, so I'd probably be working on my Tales games. Okay, the problem with the MMOs is this: like, you get so wrapped up in them that that you get distracted, because you're like, okay, I'm gonna play this game. It's just a little more, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play this a little more, and then I'll work on Tales of Arise. Yeah, never happened. It's so hard to keep your focus on one game and then like go back to another. And then you're like, I think I'm gonna play Final Fantasy now. 8 hours later, yeah, that poor Tales of Arise. It's just, I think I'd be playing Tales of Arise or streaming Vesperia because I was working on some of the new Atelier game, the Atelier's Sophie too, but as well.
I think Axie's a fan of Atelier too, right? Axie. Oh, he's AFK. Well, he was telling me that he was a fan of those games before, at some point.
I think he likes Atelier, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Edna? What would you be doing?
Finding mods on Skyrim. Trying to blow people up on Skyrim. Finding more mods on Skyrim to break the game.
Before I got into MMOs and stuff, I used to watch Asmongold stream, and it used to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. Now Asmongold plays Final Fantasy, so.
But
He
I like
is.
her a lot. She's so cute with her cute little bun streams.
Bun.
Oh yeah, her. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I actually discovered her too while looking into things about the game. She's very
Wow,
good.
bro, you were so new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's Zepla?
You're good.
No, Keith. I was saying Keith is so new
Keep what?
Oh.
because
He was a baby.
Keep what?
Zeppelin was a WoW player as well.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I watched that video of hers that she mentioned that she came from WoW.
Yeah, she's really cool. I like her. Like a lot of streamers, I chanced upon by accident, but they're really cool. Like this one girl, she lives in Lithuania, and she does a lot of crafting and gathering tutorials on YouTube. I should actually show you this because she has a lot of these macros that she shares with people, and they're really cool.
I think I might have seen some of her videos.
Can I
Is she a
send it to
Mikote
you?
with my hairstyle?
Yeah, her name Olivia. Have you heard of her?
I think I might have seen some of her videos. I've seen a lot of other people's videos too. They'd be like, "Oh,
She has such
you
a
want
sweet
to sell beads on the market board." I watched those.
Sending you the thing in the DM.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, I had a backspace on it. Alright, here you go. She is so adorable too.
Right.
She has such helpful advice, like where to find the Beast Tribe quest and stuff. How you make your first million gil. She's really cool.
Nice.
Right.
she has such a soft voice too, and it's like so sweet and cute. I like her, and she's a VTuber as well. So
Oh wait, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've discovered her. Was it the one with the like kind of like a kind of seductive voice, lolly voice or something? Like I don't know how to describe it.
no, it's just adorable and cute.
Oh, okay.
I showed it to Edna though.
Right, right. But anyways, the last question that I have listed is it's pretty simple. Hopefully, it's would you recommend this game to a complete beginner and why? Pretty much.
Yes, I would, and the reason why is because once you start, you can't stop, and the story is just incredible. It's like when you start out, fresh and new as your character, you get to see your character evolve and change with you, and like it takes you through the story, and it makes you cry, it makes you feel happy, and it makes you feel so connected with the characters, because those characters you grow with through the game, you grow as a person and a player as you get stronger and stronger, and then as you see, one day you'll look like incredibly amazing and stuff, and it's like I love. It's like like people are always like, it's so cool to be badass in endgame, and then and it takes a long road to get there, and like they say, it's the journey that's fun, and that the destination doesn't always matter.
Yep.
I like the road getting there.
Right.
It's a fun game. It offers something for everyone, whether you like RP casual stuff, or like if you just like conjugating and AFKing around, just watch out for the 30-minute timer. But it's fun. A lot of people do different things, like some people just make guilds to craft and stuff. People just enjoy crafting and conjugating in Limsa and
I
talking.
feel called out.
Yeah, and like that. Then there's the hardcore gamers, the elite people, that don't want you, and then there's the people who have their own statics. They run shit with each other.
Yep. There's pretty much something for anyone that wants to try. Even Latios. That's why we were even trying to get him to at least try the game, well, free trial.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna say personally, from when I first started, I didn't think I'd like the game Latios, even though I liked the series. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so fucking stupid. That was my thought, right? And I was like, I got into it in the first day, and I was like, it's time to eat, Christina. No, I'm good. I'm playing right now. I'm good. Yeah, it's like you get so lost into it and absorbed into the story because it gets so good. It has you on edge, and there's always twists, especially later on. It gets really good. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now that I'm getting into like the near games, I'm sure Edna was like, this is a sidetrack, but Edna, what was her reaction when you found out that there were gonna be like near raids or near stuff in this game? Since you're a big Nier fan, right?
Oh yeah, it was when they implemented the near raids and they had the crossovers. It was surprising, but at the same time, not so much, because Final Fantasy XIV has done a lot of collabs. Like, they have a Monster Hunter collab event where you fight Rathalos in a trial
as well.
Yes, there is a Dragon Quest collab,
Nice.
and then previously there were Yokai Watch collabs
So they're
where
not,
you can get the minions and the mounts.
in terms of crossover, they're not even afraid to branch out of their own company, right? Because sometimes with crossovers, they try to stick with the branch that's kind of like within their own circle. So, correct?
Speaking of events, Edna, they're bringing back the Yokai event for the Sage and Reaper weapons.
Really nice.
Yeah.
That one
They always implement it when they add new classes, like when they added the Gunbreaker, Yokai
And
weapon,
Dancer.
and Dancer.
Mm-hmm.
So they have ample opportunity to do that because that's half of the reason they brought back the Makai event because of the new
Oh, the Garo
PvP,
event.
and yeah, half was for the new Crystal Conflict PvP, but it was also because of the 2 new classes.
Oh, nice.
That makes sense. I was just happy they brought Susano's weapons to the crafting
I
recipes.
really wish they'd make a dancer version for the Tsukuyomi weapon. I feel like it would be really beautiful because of the moons and and the chakrams would be like the crescent chakram.
Kind of like what Tsukuyomi's monk weapons are.
Yeah. When I mentioned chakras and stuff, I'm also thinking of Doctor Strange. Oh yeah, I found like an article that has like a Doctor Strange glam, apparently, just because the movie is coming out. It came out like last week or so.
I've seen a lot of glams. I think there's a few Sailor Moons. I've seen 1 or 2 Captain America's ones. They're paladins.
Also, I love messing around with Edna, just staring at each other.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, flexing our glams and our weapons and all that.
And it's just emoting at
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I know you slap me a lot.
You slap
So,
me,
yeah.
Jack. The Lalafell slaps are the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess actually kind of missed out on the other questions of the AFK. So real quick, actually, if you weren't playing this game, what would you be doing instead? And also, to follow up, would you recommend this game for a beginner? Even though I know you're just starting out and stuff, like you have a bit of experience with our MMOs, so I'm curious
Yeah,
about your
this is-
take. Hey, go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is really good starter MMO for beginners. Everyone's more welcoming here.
Yep.
Now then, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And what was the other question?
And the next one, oh, that was it. Like the other one was like, if you weren't playing this game, like what else would you be doing? Like if you
I'd
didn't.
probably be doing something, probably sticking on PS4 and playing Bloodborne or whatnot some more.
Yeah.
Even though I already 100% Bloodborne, I would still probably be playing it.
Mr. Trophy Hunter right here. That's what I call you sometimes because the way you complete games, like holy shit, Axie.
Trophy Hunter, can you DM me your PSN so I can add you?
Yeah, I don't have my PS4 anymore, but you can add me.
Do you have a PS5?
No.
Aww.
Well, now
Here is my name, but this is a cringy older name.
we're not tied to any more like follow-up questions. So
Random
we can
name.
this is basically freeform. Like take the direction wherever you guys want. Now, chill stream. This is where the chill stream portion comes into play. So it's like we can go wherever ways. Now.
I'm not sure why I always do the platinum game stuff. Wow.
Wing wing. I'm sure there's like a lawful that can play that on tune or something, or some bard can recreate that like soundboard.
Trying to be
No,
bard so I can play.
Latios, no, I
see
have it.
that?
Since Latios likes soundboards, he should be a bard.
Keith,
I
did
agree.
You see that just now?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so you missed it. It popped up and said your podcast
Yours-
was starting, right?
Yeah,
I know,
My
I
like,
got it.
My
too.
podcast is what?
it said your podcast was just starting like a second
I got
ago,
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
and I was laughing. I was like, oh my god.
yeah, it's sometimes Twitch is like a few seconds delay
So-
or so. Go ahead.
No, it's Discord.
I
It's
just saw
not
that
Twitch.
too.
It's not Twitch. It's Discord.
Oh, Discord. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, now
Yeah,
now
Discord's
Keith
thing
got
is
the-
sort of weird sometimes.
I was just gonna say, Keister got the platforms mixed up. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Kind of a goofball like that sometimes. Or
I know.
rather, all the time.
I had to catch you on that. I had to catch you on that one.
Yeah. Nice.
That was a good catch. That was a good catch, though, right?
Yeah. Guys always keeping me on my toes, right?
Yep. And when it comes to Final
Or
Fantasy, I know
basically,
I
it's
still-
like
I still
the
keep going
AOE's is
on.
like dodge, like Gohan dodge the AOE's, like in Dragon Ball.
Why don't you dodge?
And I had a question.
I may have an answer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you stop the sounds for a second, please? Sorry, and I couldn't hear myself think. Sorry. So okay. It is sit for a second. He didn't have to jump out.
That's just. I'll check on him later. Oh, you were gonna say?
Oh, why did he jump out? I just wanted to because I couldn't hear myself think with the noise.
Yeah, that's. Well, I'll talk to him later, when this gets. Well, what were you gonna say, Estelle? Sorry.
Okay. So I was gonna ask her like if like how they have the musical class for the bard. Like I was surprised. You know how like in Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 2, they had the songstress class for Yuna. So I was like always wondering why they never implemented that.
I never played around with that. It was this Henderson too.
I hope he hasn't pissed at me. God, now that's bothering me. I wasn't being rude or anything. I wasn't like being how Notes was the other night. But you know.
I messaged her real quick just to see what's up. We'll have to see where that goes.
I just told him for a second. It's like I couldn't, like, because I was trying to ask her something.
Oh, you can turn down his volume on your end.
Yeah, on future reference, if he's ever that loud, you can always just lower his volume. But it's okay. You didn't know, so I wouldn't overthink it.
It's hard not to. Because I feel like he's mad at me.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean.
I don't think he's mad at you. He's probably sad. He's a little upset, but you can always let him know.
He's back.
Sorry
He's
about
back.
that. I actually had to disconnect because my internet wanted to start being wonky.
Oh, I thought you hated me because I told you that I needed you to.
No, that was no. I misclicked. No, I misclicked that. I didn't mean to. I was trying to stop it, but the damn thing was messing up. And then my computer was acting stupid. That's why I clicked off.
Oh, we all thought Estelle was being mean to you.
Estelle's. You made Estelle's heart race. How could you?
Estelle can never do that to me. Honestly,
you made her heart race, and now she's gonna make her heart race.
Wait, you ever saw me and Edna in chat in the morning when she says good morning and I say shut up?
Bruh.
That's
if she actually did,
it just proves you're to her best friend.
Make me sad, I will tell her. I will tell her straight up.
Yeah.
We're yelling at each other like we're calling each other whores and bitches.
Yeah, we were calling each other whores today.
Yeah, because every time Eggsy has 10 retainers.
Yeah,
and he'll always send them on. Yeah, he'll always send them on.
She called me a glam whore. Then we're going calling each other whores. She called me a healer whore. I called her a DPS whore.
Yeah, because every time Eggsy brings.
And on top of that, for some reason, sometimes when I connect to Discord, I keep seeing some weird notifications saying something on here. I don't know what. I didn't catch what it said, but I had to close the Discord and then reboot it so I can get it away.
Yeah, Discord is pretty notorious for acting up. I know that from past experience.
Notorious for being stupid.
Yeah.
It's booty pipes, basically.
Yeah, it's PewDiePie. That's right. I'm just kidding.
So, like, what's the one thing you loathe in the game? For me, I'd have to say the ERP shit. I don't really.
That still gets to me. I can't imagine that, especially the way.
I respect people that do it, Keith. I truly do, and that's their own business. But I don't like people who do it openly like that because it's like really.
I don't mind if they go into
that actually remind me of. Well, since it's kind of free where I'm talking, like this reminds me of when I had my Dohomine account on Twitter, and joke. Right. Well, I'll just mention the character. Sophie? There's like a Edna. Not our Edna, but like another Edna, and there's like a Sophie account with the you know what. I'm not gonna say it just in case Notes makes the edits. Like unfriendly child friendly thingy-mabobber, and it's like out in the open. Out in the open. Like really, dude, you couldn't. You couldn't take that in DMs or something? I don't know.
That's one of them TMI situations.
Yeah, more or less.
It's like when you're just talking about stuff with your friends in call, and then someone says something and ruins the whole chat, or like it was like that one day when notes just popped in and muted Ness and shit, and like
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, man? That was just awful. I mean, like, why not just unmute him after he apologized? It didn't make sense.
Yeah, it gets kind of distracting when people are talking over when you're trying to play something.
Yeah, because I think I'll be honest, I was getting annoyed with whatever was going on with Ness's end, so I didn't tell him, but I just turned his volume a little lower. That way I could hear everyone else.
Some people
but I didn't
are
tell.
I mean,
louder than others.
No, because of them loud noises are very triggering for some people. Like for me, like I like whenever I take a shower or something, it's like I can't handle the loud water pelting against the wall. It really bothers my ears. So like I have to like turn it down. Like you know how you can like change how the water comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets too loud. Like I can't handle loud noise, like people yelling at me.
That drives me nuts too. Like it reminds me of like the 4th of July shenanigans, like when that happens.
Oh yeah, I hate fucking fireworks.
Man,
I mean,
fireworks,
in general.
like people
I
that
like fireworks. I
do it
just don't
in the really late hours, and then they let like their dogs out, dude. Like at 3 a.m. in the morning, I was like, holy shit, dude.
It's weird. I can listen to metal music, but I can't stand people.
But why was Ness like playing all them sounds like super mega loud? Like it was.
I don't know. Ness is way to be random at times. I don't know. I don't know why he acts like that. It's just his way of coping. It's his coping mechanism, I guess.
It's okay for him to be random, but he needs to be respectful of everyone else that's in the group.
Yeah. So Ness, if you're listening to this, like just keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Yeah. So I guess we can end this here since we're basically done with the FF talk. So does anyone have any last thoughts of everything that we talked about, and kind of any closing thoughts on everything? We can go and
Queen, bow down and serve me.
Yeah.
No, they're only gonna bow down to yours truly, the Supreme King, all day, every day.
Oh man, I'll make me whip out my Switch on your ass.
The Supreme Burger King.
No.
You're gonna get the Lalafell slap.
Right now. What's up? I got my Switch on right now. What's poppin'?
I don't got mine on. It's been off for
exactly. You could also get it on mobile. What's up?
Yeah. So let me think. And any closing thoughts on this game that you're still playing that you would always, the advertisement you always give, like 14, like whatever, however it goes again. I always forget.
Copy pasta.
Oh,
Yeah.
On for you, Keith. Like, how come you don't talk to us about the story? Like,
right.
Like, what's your favorite part in the story so far?
So far, I would say, Yastora, right? Girl I met, like, all of the characters that I met, like, so far, she's kind of captivated me, because she's been, like,
damn hot.
Just the way she's presenting herself. I think, by consensus, like, she's, like, a lot of
still
people's favorites, but it's like, holy shit. Yeah, she's kind of hot.
You feel like it's a lot hotter, trust me.
I did enjoy the final boss of ARR. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, just don't say anything because it keeps not very.
I know. I'll just say
Yeah.
just the final boss of that arc.
I'll be there soon enough. Edna, any closing thoughts?
Blank is awesome.
Keith, you need to play longer than 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Claudia?
Hang on. I saw him on at 10 a.m. this morning. He was on for exactly 11 minutes and 29 seconds. I counted.
Because the reason is like I couldn't sleep because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some MS kills.
Bro, stay the fuck on and play. The more pounds you make, the better. You're almost at the end of a round.
The whole day.
You're so close to Garuda. And then you get to do Castrum and Praetorium, and then you can beat the fucking expansion.
Porta
get it
potty.
beat.
And this is why Christina is the freaking Final Fantasy queen. Let's get it.
Yep.
No, she's a glam
Oh
whore.
yeah, I want to get this out of the way before I forget. Estelle, can I officially join your FC if you would allow me to? Before I forget.
I gotta talk to you about that. I always talk to people about it before I ask them. So
Understood. I just thought I asked in case I forget or anything didn't bring it up before. Okay. Axie, any final thoughts on what we talked about?
Not really.
hey,
But you're just gonna finish ARR quickly. Or soon enough.
yeah, like we're all ahead of you, Keith. It's kind of a little sad, but don't worry. It's just like Kiri's almost past the point where you're at, so
Right.
uh, yeah. No, you don't want to be in last place, do you?
Yeah. Definitely don't.
It's
Right.
just like I remember how I used to feel, Keith, when everyone was ahead of me, like everyone was on Endwalker, right? And I was on a different character at the time, and I was still on I think Heaven's Word, and it made me so sad because they told me I couldn't join in the raids and stuff because they're like, oh well, just wait till you're in Endwalker, then we'll take you through Asphodelos and shit. And I
And
was
they just play.
yeah, and they were doing the Savage, and like I felt
Yeah.
so left out, and it's like that's what it makes you feel like, Keith. It's like it makes you feel so bad because you're like, oh man, it's like you're not included thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm kind of used to that kind of stuff.
It's just like it's
Yeah, that was me when I started playing Final Fantasy too, because everybody else was already ahead. This was before
everyone has their
Shadowbringers.
clicks.
This was before Shadowbringer came out, but like everybody was already ahead. They were doing the
Yeah.
like
I
Orbon
think
Monastery.
to put
They're
it
doing all
similarly,
the
High end.
in terms of like being ahead of stuff like that, reminds me at the time when I was into Genshin Impact, and a lot of my friends that played were quite ahead within the adventure rank, so it sort of feels that way.
same
in
with
that sense.
Christoria for me. That's why I stopped playing
like-
before they.
It's like when I started a new character when I went back to Balmung and stuff. Like my friends FC, they didn't want to help me do any low level shit. They're like, "Well, you're
Oh.
low level. Well, why don't you just buy a jump?" I said, "I don't want to buy a jump, and I don't have the money for it." And they said, "Well, well, we can't help you." And I said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Well, just do it yourself. It's not hard." I said, but I want to do it with friends, and they said, so what? It don't mean we have to.
Yeah, that's I
It's
don't know.
awful.
Like those kind of people are not friends. Sorry, I have to get to like this is just
Like,
especially when you're trying to like get through it, and especially if you're starting out. That's not fair.
to be
Try to
honest, my best experience in this game so far has been since I came to. I'm just gonna call it the cigarette server because I can't.
Yeah, the Marlboro.
This is
Yeah, the cigarette server. That's why everybody calls it the cigarette
So-
server.
So, since I came
Yeah.
here and joined, it's like it's been the best experience I've had. I've ran stuff with you guys, and it makes me feel so at home to run stuff with people and have friends. And
God.
Yeah.
it's like you always feel like when you join some random FC, you think, oh well, you know, eventually you're just gonna leave because you barely know them and they just exclude you out of shit.
Yep.
And then it just
Never have a-
I just want to say real quick, like this is nothing to do with 14, but the guild system in Tales of Christoria is utter dog shit. I just have to say that right now. Like Bamco really dropped the ball on that. Yeah.
The whole Christoria system, the whole like gotcha system, because there's a huge level gap, especially when it comes to PvP or arena. When you're playing
Yeah.
against other players, even though they might be run by bots, but their characters are overpowered
Yeah.
to the point that you can't even win. But there's just a huge gap.
Right. Okay.
it's just like, you know, like I don't know about everyone else, but since I came here, it's been the best time I've had since I ever started the game. And the thing is, I didn't mind starting over from scratch because new server, new experience, then it's fun. Because then your
Yep.
friends get to experience the stuff all over with you.
I've said this like before, like playing with friends, playing with more or less your peers just makes a difference versus like trying it out yourself. Maybe trying to make friends. Maybe you make friends. Maybe you don't make friends. It's like that makes a world of difference right there. At least
I have
what
a
I can
hard
say.
time making friends because it's hard for me to open up because I'm social, but at the same time, I'm introverted. So it's like, it's hard to open up and reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to be my friend? It's like really hard. And it's like, uh, my theme with my FC, it's like moon and star based because, you know, I just like the moon. I've always liked that kind of shit. But, and it's also named after, it's named after.
Fukuyami.
It's named after it's called the Moonlit Black Cats. So it comes from SEO, but it's the Japanese name for it. So I
See.
really like cats and I like the moon and I've always had an infatuation with stars and
Hmm.
so like I always have pictured a family setting for it, you know, like just having one that's stuff you run with your friends and that makes me happy, you know, because I've never had that thing. And like I said, I tried to run one before and it crashed and burned because I had no friends and it was so hard. And like I felt like I couldn't do it at first, but like this time it feels so good because I worked my ass off on it and finally hit rank 7 yesterday. Ask Edna.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yep. It's almost to rank 8 and then I can run 2 actions.
Nice.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I've been working my ass off on it.
Yeah.
Edna's been helping with the turn-ins a lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I have to say,
Yeah,
like
fuck the
I
math
mentioned this
guy
before.
from
This
the
is kind
vendors.
of a side note. Anytime Edna takes me around on her spaceship, not spaceship, or like her mech, whatever, I always instead of Edna, I always imagine Rita for some reason because I.
Oh, the
Rita-
cruise chaser.
Yeah,
Forward and
From the-
back.
yeah, the
forward
cruise
and
tracer.
back.
I imagine like
Yeah.
instead of Edna, I imagine
Yeah.
Rita for some reason because she also moves as Rita, so I was like, oh shit, Rita's giving me a ride somewhere. Her
Yeah,
first
put on my
spaceship.
Rita glam.
Yeah.
I have to change the hair though. I wish that you can equip like different hairstyles on the glam plates.
You know what I kind of wish that they would implement in 14? I really would like the idea for don't you know those fashion accessories?
Yes.
I kind of wish that they weren't just something that you wore cosmetically. I wish you could just equip them onto a different slot in there, and then you could like make it go with your glam. Like, say you're doing an angel and you want some angel wings, and
Right.
you want to be part of the glam when you fight, and it'd be so super cool to see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or like you know how they don't have hair scrunchies? That would be so super cool to have hair scrunchies.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Maybe in the later hairstyles they will
Yeah,
add.
like since 6.0 came out, there haven't been any new hairstyles yet, which I do hope, but by the next patch that they do that. Like
I thought they had new hairstyles.
no,
Just they weren't that good looking.
they haven't made any since the both ways one, which was that was
Oh.
before, you know.
Oh, this is from Zadnor, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what they're gonna bring out for
Mhm.
the hairstyles because I know they do short hairstyles because of the clipping issue.
Hmm.
And my face clips with the armor
Yeah.
sometimes.
So actually, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually,
My
what's your
face
final?
was
Yeah. Go ahead,
my
sorry,
hair
sorry.
was clipping into the outfit that Edna made me, but I was like, fuck it. I like pink. I look good. Fuck you, motherfuckers. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
there's some clipping issues here and there, but it's very minor, I feel like.
People get upset if like auras. You see a lot of the clipping issue with the hair and it going into the freaking horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Back when I was
very-
Aura, that
I
happened to
tried
me.
Lalafell once and once, and like it's just
Why
it's
not twice?
because I have to shift the camera angle so much, and I don't like doing that. It's hard, and I can't stand the fact that they have tiny ass weapons. It makes me feel
Yeah.
small. The weapons are so tiny. How do you deal with that? Like,
I just imagine it's just like how Yoda or Grogu deals with their mini lightsabers is almost the same thing, right?
Like, it's like a little chibi. Like it reminds me of Hello Kitty with a little fake little sword wandering around. Look, sword and shield. Look at my adorable
Yeah.
sword.
Uh, so actually, like your final thoughts before we conclude
Yeah,
this.
not really. But I probably want to sleep until maintenance is over.
We should tell Rexy about the dragoon meme, Edna. Edna.
But the floor tank?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Send
think
me
I
a
told him
picture.
about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like
yes.
dragoon will get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
yes, a dragoon.
Their defense is pretty good, yeah.
No, they're not.
So,
Oh.
Maxie, have you rated in other games as well?
Yeah, I've raided in World of Warcraft before, but it was just way too chaotic. But it's more chaotic here. But at least they're helping you out here.
Are you a PvPer? I am.
Ooh.
I was mostly PvP back then.
I love PvP. I love beating the shit out of people. Oh my god.
I hate PvP.
Yeah,
No,
World of
great
Warcraft,
thrill.
You
PvP
ganked a
World of
lot.
Warcraft was a lot more toxic back then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
people say their shit when they lose. Like whenever I used to lose in the ranked matches by accident when I first got into PvP, people would send me tells in game and say like, "Are you new to PvP?" And then they would link me the Paisa PvP shit and tell me that I need to learn the right and wrong way to PvP and like if they lost or anything or they'd blame me because I was healing through it, and then they'd yell at me through a tell.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
In what, Final Fantasy?
Yeah, I had that shit on Dwamong.
Right.
Oh dang! I remember when I first did PvP. Like I was running around as black mage, and I hated it because it was so squishy. The mages are really squishy in PvP.
People expect to win, but the thing is, you can't win every time.
Hmm
Thing and like
Yeah.
I love the ranked matches because Crystal Conflict really helped the PvP community in 14 a lot because the
So I
theme
was
was
told,
actually
yeah.
really strategic and really hard.
Yeah. All
Like
right.
A lot of people
back when I started
invest-
PvP.
Edgy PvP gear I've been hearing about.
Oh, the Garo gear.
Oh no. I'm talking about the Archfiend armor. I should show my
Oh, is it what Killick was wearing?
Yes, it's the one that it's his
I thought
call
that was
card that you
Garo
get
gear.
now, right? And it goes on every class, and it's like so fucking worth it.
It's kind of like the Rathalos armor now.
Well, I've never gotten that before. I do need to do that, so we do need to make a party for that when everyone's higher up there, so we can.
You can unsync it.
Yeah.
I used to unsync it. It was like me and like Exe and somebody else. We unsynced it. Like,
No, but it'd be fun if it was
Yeah.
like the whole party was doing it.
yeah, that's true.
Latios, do you have any final thoughts? Even though you're not really well known on this quite yet, since you can probably go try it. Like, what's your impressions on all this before we close off?
Well, I'm gonna say this. The way it sounds, it definitely sounds like a way better game than a particular game I used to play called Pokemon Go, aka Screw Niantic, because they are a shitty company. I'm just gonna say that out there. Um, it seems like it's interesting. Like I do like the fact that there's crafting involved. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Animal Crossing because you do craft in that game. You craft, you get materials to craft items and such, which is pretty cool. And then all the stuff about spells, mages, all the extra, you know, strength and all that stuff. That it kind of reminds me of the particular set of games I used to play called Bravely Defaults and Bravely Second. Those games were a lot of fun, and it kind of reminisces me about that particular.
Isn't
fun,
that also
especially
by
with
Square?
Dragon Age.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
what
I
I
think
thought.
so. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
then
played- I
then
played-
yeah,
I
Latios,
actually
you'll
did play
definitely you will definitely love this game. Then it's
But yeah,
Yeah, it's
Brave-
basically you got a job and you basically get jobs, you max them out and you gather stuff and everything. Well, except you don't really gather equipment to craft in those games, but you do get jobs by beating bosses and then you basically acquire their skills and then you level them up and you get basically get all that stuff, and I thought it was
They
pretty
have
fun.
that. They have that in Final Fantasy 14. It's called Squadrons.
Yeah.
You can recruit. You do the challenge logs, and every time you do the challenge logs, there's always a chance that a new recruit will join your squadron, and you can have I
Yeah.
think up to eight or 10
Yeah, recruitment also
squadron.
reminds me like an aspect of another game like called Fire Emblem Three Houses, where you play as like Byleth, and I think it's also the same case for the older Fire Emblem games, where instead of like soldiers, you get to recruit like students or faculty, because it's like takes place in a Harry Potter esque like setting,
Hmm.
and it's like kind of reminds me of that a little bit when you mention recruitments.
Yeah, you can. Once you join a grand company, you can put in like squadrons, and you can send them to do things. You can glam them up when they reach like a certain level. You can. That is how you can up your rank as well.
Right,
Because I think it caps at second lieutenant,
that's cool.
but you can move up by working with your squadron. You can even run dungeons with them too.
Hmm.
Well, see you guys later. I'm gonna be back at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I
All
can
right.
continue.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was just gonna say my like closing before this becomes too long. Like, thanks for watching 29th episode of the Kiefcast. This was quite this enlightening episode, because it's like this is honestly, I would just say, for first time in a long time, a true timing, like the probably like probably I would just say this is, even though I could definitely learn to be enthusiastic as some of you guys, like this is definitely one of the best games I've ever played in a long time. I don't say that lightly. Like, thank you, Edna. Thank you, Estelle. Especially thanks to the content creators that put a lot of the guides for in case that anyone gets stuck for the game. Like it's truly amazing. I have to say I have no other way to describe it than that, really. Um, but other than that, yeah, this has been Kiefcast. So, I had this in mind. Instead of for redeem, I was going to use Begone fried chocobos. If that fits the fried chocobos.
You still really
we're
just
gonna
said
roll with
fried
that.
chocobos. I'm weak.
I don't know, man. I was trying to find something
I'm
that
weak.
may fit that fit
No, there
I'm
is
weak.
not a food called fried chocobo.
Yes, sir.
I'm weak.
for real.
They have a fat cat fry pan though that says
Oh.
maybe it looks feline shaped, but frying an actual fat cat is morally unacceptable.
Oh no.
No.
That's not a reference to what I think it is it?
Boy.
Last year that they came out with the Final Fantasy 14 cookbook that has the freaking recipes from the crafting, and it was so
Yes.
cool.
Yes, I have it. I have that cookbook. I do not regret it. It is.
It's the best
Like-
buy, right?
Interesting.
Yes, I remember. I was looking through the. I was looking through the bread section, and it was on page.
Yeah.
I was looking at the bread section, and I noticed that cornbread was on page 69.
Take that as you will, guys. Anyways.
Yes, and then.
Yeah.
And yep, that'd be a good
Yeah.
night.
So yeah. Begone, you begone, dirty demons, and we'll see you into the next podcast. Anyways, I end up using it
Thanks for
anyway.
watching my podcast, everyone. La 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 la.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.